Hi friends, this is Chandrashekhar again. I am now talking about the last of the 12 bhavas of a natal chart in Vedic astrology, and that is the 12th bhava. As I said in the last lecture, this is a bhava which can interest many because of two reasons. One is it is called Vyaya bhava or the Dvadasha bhava, the 12th bhava. It is also a Trika bhava, a bhava which is not supposed to yield good results, but when in the area of expenditure, one, because Vyaya means expenditure, and the second part is the fact that its Lord might not give good results in its own dasha, that is Vinshuttari dasha. However, it doesn't mean it is all bad. No, it's not all bad. It depends on again how we use it. Okay, this is a bhava of, it is called the bhava of Shayanasu, the bed pleasures, and that might interest the young boys or girls because many a times that is what is on their mind in the first instance after the income naturally, and the seventh house, getting some partner, preferably of an opposite sex, and so yeah. So this is the 12th bhava. It is also bhava of sleep. Then it is bhava which is also indicative of moksha, the final emancipation. It is the dream state. We also see dream state from the 12th bhava. This is also a bhava which is, in a way, we can say that this is a bhava which is indicative of bondage, the jail, the hospital. All these things are seen from the 12th bhava. So we have got the expenditure first, then the Shaya Sukha. The Shayana Sukha means, Shayan means bed. So bed pleasures. 2. Distant lands also comes under the 12th bhava. Okay, that is the generally the foreign land, or a land where the culture is distinctly different than that of the Jātaka and his family. It is jail, it is hospital, it is final emancipation, it is dream, it is sleep. So all these things come in the domain of 12th bhava. Now what do we find common in the 12th bhava? We can understand these are all places where the Jātaka has very less influence of his own. All these things are governed by things which are beyond his control. People might think otherwise, but yeah, even the sex part of it has to do more with the psyche than with the physical capacity or whatever. And the moksha, the final emancipation, again, it depends on how far you can give up everything and be truly detached, which is perhaps not in the Jataka's control. It happens to some people, it doesn't happen to some people. Expenditure, now also we don't have control over expenditure. Of course, somebody can overspend, I agree, but certain expenditure might be beyond your control. Same is with sleep. When you want sleep, sleep doesn't come to you, and when you want to be awake, sometimes this especially happens with the students. The moment they pick up a book, especially of related to their school subject, they immediately fall asleep. So dreams, you can't control what comes in your dream, isn't it? In distant land, you have less control. You may be even a citizen of a country which is not country of your birth, and believe it or not, you still don't feel that you are safe there. You have as much privileges as in the country of your birth, even if your country of birth may be something like Syria, where today there is a hell lot of things going on and people don't have control. Still, they would still feel to be out of control in a different country. It may be a democratic country, it may be a good country, it might be even a safe country. Same thing happens in hospital. You have no control. See, your daily behavior, the diet, the medicines you take, and the exercise you must take, and everything is controlled by somebody else, isn't it? So same happens in bondage. If you land up in jail or a prison, as they call it, see, it is somebody else who is controlling you. You don't have the full control over what is happening. And so this is the 12th bhava. Now we also see that if malefics are aspecting it, there will be more expenses. Malefics have energy. We will talk about it sometime in the lecture on grahas when I take it up. And then suppose a malefic like Saturn is sitting in the, occupying the 12th bhava. He would be aspecting the 2nd bhava, the 6th bhava, and the 9th bhava. The 9th is of course your father or your guru, so you might not have good relations with him at that time, or he might not want to help you at that point of time. Again, Saturn sitting in the house of expenditure can indicate, because of his aspect on the 12th house, there would be expenditure, maybe connected with the area governed by Saturn, which includes speculations, all sorts of drinking and intoxication and other things. And the aspect of the 2nd would indicate he would erode your acquired wealth, or your accumulated wealth can be eroded. 6th house is litigation, he can give litigation at that time. You might end up in litigation with your enemies or your relatives, and that can cause much expenditure, and so on and so forth. It is also said that Jupiter sometimes in the 12th house can indicate taxes imposed by the king giving you some expenditure. Of course, Jupiter also can indicate, being a Shubha Graha, a benefic, can indicate expenditure done for good things like building of temples, or the places for pilgrimages to stay in, and so on and so forth. It also indicates your ability to repay loan, because the 12th is also loan. Why? It is expenditure of yours. So when you remember this, the 7th is your opponent, as we were talking earlier, when we were talking about the 7th bhava. He is not necessarily adversary, he is a competitor or somebody whom you interact with. You may consider him an adversary if he doesn't listen to what you are saying, but primarily it is somebody with whom you react. And so your banker or the one who lends will be the 7th house. His expenditure is 6th house, whereas your expenditure is the 12th house. So when he spends, you get the loan, and when you do something good there, instead of spending, you repay the loan. That is the concept behind it. And we are not talking about those things, but even again, being Trika Bhava, planets go weak there. But remember that Sun in the 12th Bhava can indicate somebody who has either political inclination or may enter politics, because Sun is the one who has ego, and here his ego cannot be understood by people. We see that the Bhavas are perception of people about us and our own perception also. So both the things are always indicated by any Bhava. And you will find many a times politicians with Sun in 12th or 6th, and though they will have confidence and everything, people will never think that they are egoistic, and that would be their strength. They could also become nominated as politician, but that is a different issue, and this is not the place nor the subject where we should talk about it. So distant dad, in distant dad, as we have seen, in a different place, you feel you don't have control, which you might have in, or at least you might think that you have in the in your own country. We see this is connected with the 4th house. We were talking about the trines, so 8th, 12th and 4th are to form one triangle. The 4th house is called Bhava of Moksha. Now you see the life ends in the 8th Bhava whenever there is damage to 8th Bhava, because 8th Bhava is by itself house of life. When that happens, and when you have given up all the ideas of enjoyment, and if you are not attached to your expenditure, then you can get the final emancipation from the 4th house. 4th house is the house where you feel safe, whereas 12th house is a place where you may not feel safe. Actually, you might feel that you don't have control. You may not actually feel unsafe, but you might feel that you don't have any control, as in hospitals you don't have control, and so on and so forth. So that is the 12th Bhava. Some learned also opine that a planet, especially the Lagna Lord in the 12th Bhava, can give strength to the 12th Bhava, or any Bhava Lord in the 12th from the original Bhava gives strength to that Bhava. You should try to find it out for yourself by applying it to different charts, and this is the 12th bhava as far as we need to understand it. We only look at it from the point of view of expenditure, but expenditure of your ego leads to emancipation. So you can see there are so many things which are controlled by the 12th bhava, or we think they are controlled by the 12th bhava. For example, if Rahu or something is there, expenditure could be on account of thieves sitting upon the Jātaka. This I am talking about the natal chart, because there has to be a potential which will then come into picture, or in actual practice when the proper dasha and simultaneously the transits support the outcome that we think would be experienced by the Jātaka. So never think that unless there is a potential, things are not likely to happen. They happen because we don't understand the potential that is there. As I said, Mars in the 12th house or Mars aspect in 12th house can indicate that a person might be spending on flashy things, because Mars is supposed to have dhamma. And of course, when we talk about grahas, we will look at the individual characteristics of the grahas and try to find out what happens and why they behave in such a fashion. But this is what is the 12th bhava, and that is, as I said, if 12th is more afflicted than 2nd and 11th, then whatever you earn will be lost. But there is a different side to it. If that is the case, then you may earn in the distant land instead of spending. If you are staying in the distant land, many of the negatives of the 12th bhava can disappear, because you are staying right there, where instead of, you out of the choice of where you go, you have chosen the 12th bhava in the meaning of distant land instead of staying in motherland and suffering because there are some negative influences on the 12th house. 12th house is different culture, as we have seen, and you can see its connection with the 6th house, which is again job or service or a regular employment. And so though 12th bhava is a trika bhava, remember that in matters of dasha it is a neutral bhava. So it gives results of the other house owned by the planet which owns the 12th house, and of course that is a part of the dasha interpretation thing. There are many ifs and buts and exceptions to that. And so my dear friend, I will now close this series of lecture on bhava. I hope you like them and you have understood the concept of what a bhava represents for both the Jātaka as well as the other people who look at the Jātaka and imagine what is happening in his life. So malefics in 12th or aspect in 12th can also give you disturbed sleep. What sort of disturbance will be decided by the planets which are influencing that bhava. And so we are coming to end of our lectures on bhava. I would, as usual, appreciate your suggestions for any other topic that you would like to speak me about. And I think the next series could be on either grahas, because grahas are least understood of the concept of astrology, and this may surprise people, but maybe when I start talking you will realize that there is more to grahas than what we imagine, the standard depiction, or rather more to the standard depiction than what is just given in the words. There is something more there, and we will try to understand that when we talk about grahas. So my friends, do comment upon whatever you have heard, whether you like it, you don't like it. Either way I will learn from you, so don't feel that I am giving you knowledge. I am also learning through your comments as to where I should improve and where I am running at a length, and I am not able to explain to you what I mean, because this channel is basically about bringing clarity to the concepts of astrology, and my personal opinion is unless your concepts are clear, there is hardly anything you can do. There is more talk about the example charts, but you are not going to get the same chart when somebody comes to you. So remember that and understand the principles first, apply them, and God willing, you will be able to predict as close to reality as possible. So thank you again. Signing off both from this lecture and the series on lecture of Bhava. So thank you very much for having given me a patient hearing. See you again.